The room is dimly lit, heavy with the scent of old leather, cigar smoke, and brewing espresso. Bookshelves line the walls, filled with ancient texts and family photographs. Don Vincenzo Rizzo, a man whose face is a map of Sicily's troubled history, sits behind a grand mahogany desk. He sips slowly from a small cup of espresso, his gaze fixed on the flickering embers in the fireplace. His postures regal, his movements deliberate. Antonio, a burly man with a watchful demeanor, stands by the door, a silent sentinel. Suddenly, the heavy oak door creaks open. Two of Vincenzo's men, their suits glistening with rain, half drag, half support a young man, Marco Moretti. He is soaked to the bone, his expensive clothes torn, his face pale and streaked with mud and what might be blood. His eyes, wide with terror, dart around the room before settling on Don Vincenzo. Don Vincenzo raises a hand, a subtle gesture that silences the grumbling of his men. He studies Marco, his expression unreadable. Don Vincenzo. Leave us. Antonio, stay. The two men nod, depositing Marco unceremoniously on the Persian rug before backing out, closing the door with a soft thud. Marco struggles to stand upright, swaying slightly. He looks like a cornered animal, desperate but defiant. Don Vincenzo. Calmly. Marco Moretti, son of Salvatore. To what do I owe this unexpected visit, and in such a storm? Marco swallows hard, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Marco. Voice trembling but gaining strength. Don Vincenzo. I come to you seeking asilo. Antonio stiffens, his hand instinctively going to the pistol tucked into his waistband. Don Vincenzo merely raises an eyebrow, a flicker of something unreadable in his ancient eyes. Asilo? From us? You have a lot of nerve, boy. Your father was a dog, and you? Antonio. Silence. Antonio backs down, though his eyes remain fixed on Marco, filled with suspicion. Don Vincenzo? Asilo. Sanctuary. A bold request, given the history between our families. Explain yourself, boy, and quickly. Marco takes a deep breath, forcing himself to meet Don Vincenzo's gaze. My father, Salvatore, he is dead, murdered. Not by your hand, Don Vincenzo, but by his own. By Capo Bruno, the jackal and his men. They turned on him, like wolves. Don Vincenzo's expression remains impassive, but a subtle tension enters his shoulders. Antonio looks genuinely surprised. Marco continuing, a desperate plea. They came for me too. They want to wipe out every trace of my father. I ran. I had nowhere to go. My father's men, they were with Bruno. The few loyal ones were cut down. I heard stories of the old ways, of a silo, that even between enemies, a man who seeks sanctuary, especially a man who is not made, is under the protection of the house, a guest of God. He looks at Don Vincenzo, his eyes pleading. The rain outside continues its relentless assault. Don Vincenzo leans back, his gaze distant, as if looking through Marco into the past. His voice, when he speaks, is almost a whisper, a narrative weaving through Marco's desperate words. Salvatore Moretti, the vulture, my enemy for 20 years. He called me a relic, a dinosaur. I called him a plague, a man who would poison the very soil of Sicily for a handful of dirty money. He dealt in drugs, in human misery, things my father and his father before him would never have touched. We fought over territory, over influence, over the very soul of our business. But there were rules, unspoken, understood. Don Vincenzo, back in the present, his voice harder. Salvatore broke many of those rules. He brought a new kind of savagery. But even he understood that children, women, they were outside the game, a line not to be crossed. The Corleonesi, they crossed it. They killed Busceta's sons. They slaughtered families. And for what? Power. Pure, unadulterated power. And now, this jackal, he walks in their footsteps. Antonio, who has been listening intently, finally speaks. Don, with all due respect, this boy is Salvatore's son. He could be a trap, a Trojan horse. We kill him and we send a message to Bruno. One less problem. Don turns his gaze to Antonio, cold and sharp. And what message is that, Antonio? That we are no different from the jackal? That honor is a forgotten word? That asilo is a fairy tale for children? No, not in my house, not while I draw breath. He looks back at Marco, a long, assessing stare. Your father was my enemy, a man I despised, but he was a man. And you are a boy, caught in a storm not of your making. You are not made. You are not part of his familia in the way we understand it. You are a civilian, and you have invoked an ancient right, a right that even the most brutal among us once respected. He stands, walks to the window and looks out at the rain-swept night, his back to Marco. Don Vincenzo, more to himself than to Marco. My father once told me, a man without honor is a beast. A family without honor is a stain on the earth. Salvatore lost his honor when he embraced the poison. But this jackal, he has no honor to lose. He's a void. He turns back, his decision made. His eyes, though still hard, hold a glint of something akin to pity or perhaps a grim determination to uphold a dying tradition. Don Vincenzo, firmly, you will have your asilo, Marco Moretti. In this house, you are safe. But understand this, sanctuary is not freedom, it is a cage, albeit a gilded one. You are under my protection, but you are also under my rule. You will speak when spoken to, you will obey, and you will tell me everything you know about the jackal and his movements. Marco nods, tears welling in his eyes, a mixture of relief and fear. Thank you, Don Vincenzo, thank you. Weeks pass. Marco is given a small room, simple clothes. He is watched constantly, but not unkindly. He eats with the household staff, sometimes catching Don Vincenzo's eye across the dining room. He shares what he knows about Bruno, about the new ruthless ways of his father's former capo. Don Vincenzo listens, absorbing every detail. One night, the rain has finally stopped. The air is still and heavy. Don Vincenzo is in his study, reviewing ledgers. Antonio is with him. Suddenly, the distant barking of dogs, then a shout, a gunshot. Antonio is instantly alert, drawing his pistol. Don Vincenzo remains calm, but his eyes narrow. Antonio, they're here, Bruno. Don Vincenzo rises, a slow, deliberate movement. He walks to a hidden panel behind a bookshelf, revealing a small arsenal. He takes out a vintage shotgun, double-barreled, polished to a gleam. He hands a modern assault rifle to Antonio. Don Vincenzo, he has forgotten the meaning of asilo. He has forgotten the meaning of respect. He comes to my house for my guest. This is not a matter of Salvatore anymore. This is a matter of my honor. Sound of more gunshots, closer now, shouts, the sounds of a small skirmish erupting outside. Marco, drawn by the commotion, appears at the study door, terrified. Don Vincenzo, to Marco, his voice surprisingly gentle. Stay here, boy. This is not your fight. Not yet. He looks at Antonio, a silent command passing between them. They move with purpose. 2 generations of violence, united by an unexpected cause. Sound of intense gunfire, shouts, breaking glass, the sounds of a fierce, short battle. After what feels like an eternity, the sounds subside. Silence. Then, the distant wail of a police siren growing closer. Antonio returns, his face grim, a cut above his eye. He nods to Don Vincenzo. Antonio, they're gone. Bruno, he got away. But his men, they won't be bothering us again. The police are coming. We have to move, Marco. Don Vincenzo looks at Marco, who is trembling, but also watching him with a new understanding, a new respect. The storm has passed. A pale, weak dawn light filters through the windows. Don Vincenzo sits at his desk again, the shotgun resting against the wall. Marco stands before him, no longer trembling, but still wary. Bruno will not forget this. He will be back. But for now, you are safe. Your asilo holds. But the world outside, it has changed, Marco. The rules are gone. The honor, it is a ghost. Quietly. You saved my life, Don Vincenzo. You honored the old ways when no one else would. Don Vincenzo looks at him, a complex emotion in his eyes. He sees not just Salvatore's son, but perhaps a reflection of a past he clings to, a future he fears. Perhaps. Or perhaps I am just an old man, stubborn in his beliefs. What will you do now, Marco? You cannot stay here forever, and you cannot go back. Marco looks out the window, at the new day, a flicker of determination in his eyes. I don't know, Don Vincenzo, but I know this. I will not be like Bruno, and I will not forget what you did for me. Don Vincenzo nods slowly. The silence stretches, filled with unspoken promises and the weight of a violent legacy. In the fading light of a dying code, Don Vincenzo Rizzo, the lion, had made his stand. He had protected the son of his greatest enemy, not out of love, but out of a fierce, anachronistic adherence to a principle that few still remembered. But Sanctuary, as he knew, was a temporary reprieve, a pause in the endless dance of blood and betrayal. And in the eyes of Marco Moretti, a new seed had been planted, one that would either blossom into a new kind of justice or be consumed by the very darkness he had sought to escape.